Hello, welcome to the Ask Dr Rita Show. This is a program where we explore health complaints and provide simple home remedies to tackle complex health situations. Now, if this is your first time of coming to the channel, welcome to the family. Please subscribe and press on the notification button so that you can get all of our videos, and not only that, tell other people about the Ask Dr Rita Show. Now, in this episode, we'll be discussing bacterial infections. Yes, I have a lot of questions from the PID that I did. So I'm just dedicating this program today to bacterial infections. We're going to be talking about their causes, the symptoms, and ways to prevent bacterial infections. Now, bacterial infections can be a serious health complaint or challenge, concern. So understanding it is very, very important if you're going to be able to prevent it. And also, I'm going to be talking about some misconceptions or misunderstandings that people have about bacterial infections. So, what are you waiting for? Let's get started. Now, what are bacterial infections? Bacterial infections are simply infections caused by bacteria. And what are bacteria? Bacteria are microorganisms. That means that you cannot see them with your eyes, that are present in nature naturally. It may interest you to know that bacteria are on your body. Yes, they are anatomical positions, or where they are right positions where bacteria are. We have some bacteria on the hair, we have bacteria on the skin, we have bacteria in the gut, and they help to contribute their quota in your perfect health. So why are we talking about bacterial infections? Well, this can happen when there is a situation in the body, such as other diseases, such as drugs, such as stress, or any other factor that can make a bacteria that is supposed to ordinarily be friendly become harmful to the body. Now, what are these causes of bacterial infection? So let me just even go through to the general, then I'll come to the specific. Now, bacteria can come into the body from external sources, maybe by being in contact with someone who is infected. For instance, let me use tuberculosis for instance. Now, tuberculosis is a type of bacteria that when it gets into the lungs, that's the tuberculi, when it gets into the lungs, can begin to manifest symptoms. They damage the lungs and produce symptoms like coughing and coughing with blood and several other symptoms. Now, someone who has this infection, when someone who does not have this infection comes in contact with this infection, they can pick up the bacteria, because sometimes bacteria can be airborne, because when someone coughs, they release those bacteria in the air. So those are some of the ways that people pick up bacteria. You can pick up bacterial infection from eating contaminated food that is bad, food that is sour, that can be a source. So I've talked about from getting it from physical contact from someone, getting it from contaminated food, getting it from contaminated surfaces, and then also too, it can even be gotten from other sources, like from animals, from waste products, from several other ways. Bacteria are abound in the air, they abound in water, they abound in the body, they abound in the soil. Bacteria help the plants to grow very well. If you did your agri, you will know that for sure. Now, also certain procedures like surgeries, medical devices can also, the device itself does not cause bacteria, but when a device has been used for someone who is infected, and that same device is used for someone else, it can cause someone to contract a bacterial infection. Now, what are the ways, or what are the symptoms that someone would experience if they have bacterial infections? Sometimes, most of the times, there are discharges. Depending on the body part that is affected, there are discharges. So if it's in the eyes may become red and blurry and red and itchy, and then begin to discharge. Some people call it Apollo, but it's usually called conjunctivitis. That can come from an infection in the eyes. If it's the ear becomes painful, begins to discharge pus, and then the pus can have bad odor. If from the mouth, there can be sores, there can be pus-forming sores in the mouth. They usually are odors. Now, but generally, they are chills. there are fever, there's tiredness, there's headache, there's body temperature, there could be pain in that body part, because, and then there could be it could form cysts or boils, depending on the location, in the armpits, in the skin. Even, some people can have bacterial infections by having sexual relationship with someone who is already infected. You know of the famous gonorrheas and staphylococcus, and that comes from that. Those are not the only infections that people can contract from sex. There are several other chlamydia infection. Chlamydia infection can also come up. There are several types of infections that can come, but I'm just mentioning just a few of them, of these symptoms. It could be runny nose, there could be sneezing, diarrhea, redness of the face, redness of the site of the infection. There could be pain during urination, pain before urination, pain after urination, body aches, coughing. Now, if left untreated, these bacterial infections can cause several complications like sepsis. Sepsis is a condition where bacteria has now taken all over the body. Instead of from a local site, it now spreads and affects the whole body, can cause pneumonia, can cause meningitis. It can even lead to kidney failure. When someone has had an infection and they didn't treat it for a long period of time, that can also cause failures. Now, treatment of bacterial infection. I have a separate video for treatment of bacterial infection. I have another video for preventing recurrent infection. The treatment for bacterial infection is prevention, and one of the ways to prevent it is proper hygiene, making sure that you wash your hand after using your toilet, avoid sharing personal materials like towels, like toothbrushes, because someone who has an infection, you can pick it up. Avoid using public restrooms, and if you have to use it, ensure that you disinfect it before use. So these are ways that you can prevent infection. Also, you ensure that the food that you eat is fresh, ensure that the water that you drink is clean, because bacterial infections, if you drink a contaminated water, you can pick up bacteria, So you have heard of typhoid, Salmonella typhi comes from Salmonella infection, So these are some of the channels from which people can pick up bacterial infection. And now, of course, there are some vaccines that you can take in the prevention. We have the tetanus vaccine. There are even vaccines for pneumonia, vaccines for meningitis. But these vaccines do not exclude you from being able to contract this infection again. So you have to take care to ensure that you are able to prevent these bacteria from coming into your body. Now, what are some of the misconceptions? People misconceive that there are some of the misconceptions that I have seen that people have about bacterial infection is that they think that, so I get this question. So let me tell you one of them here says that it says can I be cured of bacterial infection? Of course, if you are infected with a particular type, a strain of bacteria, and you go on an antibiotic therapy, it's supposed to ensure that bacteria is eliminated. After the test. That's why there's no general treatment for bacterial infection. I would always advise people to go and run a test. And what kind of test can you run if you have been diagnosed, or if you think that you have a bacterial infection? Usually, a culture or a swab of the affected area, or the secretion or discharge from that area would usually tell you, okay, if it is Escherichia coli, if it is Staphylococcus, if it's different types of bacteria, and then what family of antibacterial would be more active to this bacterial infection. So there is no general thing that fits all general, so you treat specifics. Now, another misconception that I've seen here that somebody has, that okay, can I just drink water? While you can drink water, and drinking a lot of water helps, especially if the infection is around the urinary tract. Drinking water is better. You can flush off. You may not be able to completely eliminate the bacteria. Water itself is not an antibacterial, so you can't drink water to cure yourself of bacterial infection. Another misconception that I've seen here that someone has said is that they can just do hot bath. can I use, so like the question is, can I use hot water, like hot steam, to kill the infection? Hot water will not kill the bacterial infection. It will not. I mean, like I said, water in itself is not it doesn't sterilize, it doesn't have anything to, it will not kill bacteria, but using hot water to disinfect, so you can boil your towels, you can boil your bed sheets. You see, these are ways to kill bacteria. So the water is not, you see, so it's not like you put the water to kill it. No, the process of boiling it or putting it inside that hot steam kills the bacteria that is present in that utensil. But say you drink hot water, it's not going to remove bacteria from your body. At least maybe I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, but maybe there's a new research that has shown. But at least from the last I checked, I don't see that. But of course you can disinfect. You can boil those things. The temperature above 100 degrees kills those bacteria, and then the surfaces can be clean. So yes, you can boil your utensils, you can boil your towel, you can boil your undies, you can boil your bed sheets, and even if you use a washing machine, if you set it on 100 degrees usually, I mean, at those temperatures, it makes it impossible for the bacteria to. So you do that as a means to prevent bacterial infection. But not as a means to treat the bacteria. You need to handle the bacteria and then what kind of bacteria you are having. So what we suppose you have found out about this, what can you do? Now, like I said, remember that bacteria in itself is not your enemy, because they do some things in the body. The bacteria in your gut, they help your body, your body to produce vitamin K. Vitamin K is needed in blood clotting. So you see, you cannot completely eliminate bacteria from your body. You cannot, because they serve several functions. You have bacteria in the hair, you have bacteria in your eyes, in your ears. All these, in their normal state, they do not cause problem. The problem is usually when any other situation causes the body to be compromised, they now become opportunistic. A bacteria that would not have caused a problem will now, because the body is compromised, the immune system of the body is compromised, it now makes the bacteria to now begin to cause problem. If not in itself, in its normal level, it doesn't cause problem. Another thing is that, again with bacteria is that, if a bacteria moves from its normal place where it's supposed to be functioning in the body and moves to some other place, when it goes to that new place, it can begin to cause problems. For instance, if bacteria in the nose moves to the stomach or to the vagina or to any other body part, it being in that place, they begin to cause problems in that place. Also too, because of drugs, because of lifestyle, because of stress, people may tend to have lifestyles or habits that reduces the body's resistance to prevent overgrowing of some bacteria. Now, when this happens, what do you expect of the bacteria? It's living in a free place. It just begins to, misbehave and cause other things. So the goal is really not to rid all of your body of bacteria. You need the bacteria. That's why you take yogurt. I mean, yogurt contains good bacteria that are good for the gut, and they tend to help you to form anti-inflammatory. They reduce the rate of inflammation in the body. So I believe I've been able to answer questions on bacterial infections and also misconceptions, and also some of the things that you can do to prevent it. If you look at the other video, you will see some home remedies, some natural antibiotics, some natural things, some things naturally that have antibiotic properties that you can take to improve your body, so they improve the healthy bacteria, they strengthen the body's immune system to be able to function. So till I come your way next time, I'm sure you have found this video very useful. So please like this video, subscribe to the video, then share this video to your friends and your contacts. I'll see you next time, and if there's any topic you want me to talk about, please drop it in the comment section. You can send me an email. If there's something you want me to clarify, you can send an email and I'll be glad to answer you. So till I see you next time, stay well. Bye.